Okay, we're back on our panheads here. So we're getting ready to do the actual valve job now. I just got done doing all the studs and everything, so now we're going to see about putting some valve guides in here. So I got my beaten on board, so I don't jam these studs on my workbench and make them real deep. So these here, got to beat these out, and then we're going to put in new studs. So we got a whole bunch of, not studs, guides. So here's a bunch of valve guides. So these are all kibble white hone to fit. These are the rows, which I don't like. These are a lot longer than the kibble whites. So they're made a little differently. These are tapered, better flow. These are usually going loose, so you can't get a very good valve guide fit. If you're working on your garage, they work great. If you got real tools, you want something that actually fit to the stem, you get the kibble white. And so anyway, you do those. They got intake and exhaust. I usually just use exhaust because I have the smallest hole, but I have a few intakes mixed in here. These are intakes, exhaust. So they start as standard. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 style over. And you drop over here and get to 8s and 9, 10s and 25s. All kinds of them. These are 80-inchers over here. So same deal. You start at standard, work your way up. The 80-inch guides are 5/8 on the OD. 74s are 9/16. Other than that, it's the same thing. See, they're same height, same width. This has a 9/16 top. This has a 5/8 top for the seal. So you take a big fat seal like this down here instead of little skinny ones like these ones. So I even got the tools where you can go ahead and cut the, that's for the spring seat. Here's a seat cutter, not seat cutter, damn it. Valve guide cutter. So if you want to turn it an 80-inch guide into a 74, you just go up in here and turn it down. Boop. And you cut down to a 74. So I do that when I got a bad head and I have to put the big stem in the early head. It's a way of cheating. It's a cheap oversized guide basically. So anyway, there's different ways of doing things. So this is for the 9/16 head. This one here for the 5/8 seal. Almost get it out of there. So you put this one on there. Couldn't go on there because it's on the fit. But it went on there far enough undersized. So see how it's small enough, it's not cutting, because it's made for the big guide. So yeah, there you go on those. That's how you do all that stuff. So pretty straightforward. Keep your stuff organized, you can figure it out. These are your valves. So we got all kinds of different valves. We got 2-inch valves and thin stem and thick stem and panhead and shovel head and all kinds of different stuff. So these are all kibble white, most of this stuff. I got a little bit of RevTech left, especially on the panhead guards. I got RevTech 1/8-inch over valves. So these are I like using these on the intakes. Makes these work better, especially if the port's been hogged out in here or you got other issues. So this bike here looks like we use a standard valve. Which one's this one? This is 950. That's a shovel head valve. So the panhead intake, which is this one, and the shovel head exhaust are the same size. Also panhead exhaust, same size. Same stem, same head, same tulip shape basically. The intake is slightly less tulip on it. It's a little bit less on the tulip shape in here. This one's a little bit more. And the other difference is the panhead valve is slightly shorter than the intake by, the exhaust by about 30th thou, I think. Other than that, they're pretty close. They're pretty much interchangeable. So you can use exhaust on all 4 valves on a pan. Okay, see if you put that valve in there, see how it sinks way down in there? The valve's already sunk way down. We'd rather have this up a little higher. And it looks like the seat's been a little bit not concentric over here. See how that goes down real low? There's up here. So this is a prime candidate for a bigger valve. So if we're going to do the oversized valve, here's a plus 1/8-inch panhead valve. So the difference is 1/8 of an inch. That one there is the same size. This must be an exhaust. Yeah, that's exhaust. My mistake. I don't have my panhead exhaust over there. That damn motor, I keep kicking it. Okay, we go over here to inventory. 94 and 98, 97. 97 is intake, 94 is exhaust. So I can run RevTech intake and exhaust if I want. These old valves are still pretty good. Or I can use kibble light exhaust. Bang myself. Okay, so here. So now you can see a difference. See, there's a little bit bigger head size. Tulip angle is a little bit less. And now we're getting an 1/8 inch difference. See, 1/8 inch doesn't sound like a lot, but when you look at it on the valve head, it's quite a bit different. So if you put this in here, so it goes out to the end of the brass seat, and it brings the valve up higher, sits up higher in the seat. That one sinks way on down there. You can see how we're running out of brass way over here though, so it's limited. Of course the valve guide's loose, so that's a little bit. So this one here, there might be so much core shift on this one we can't do it. And it's kind of looking like that's going to be the problem. The seat's, it's going to come off the edge of the seat, I think. But I can still use it, I just can't back cut it. See how this is back cut right now? These have been regrounded. These have all been worked on already. These are going to go into another motor, but I'll have to use a regular valve and then I just won't go all the way. I'll go out as far as I can out to the brass, but I won't go all the way. See the exhaust is sticking in there about a 1/16 of an inch. So theoretically I should be able to go an 1/8 inch bigger if it's that much showing. So I think we're probably pretty close. Yeah, it's just right on the edge, so we can do the 1/8. So anyway, that'll bring it up a little bit higher. There's still sunk weight in there. They need seats, but the owner didn't want to put seats in it. So there's what it looked like with the oversized intake, standard exhaust. They help a little bit. They do make an oversized exhaust valve. I don't know if I have any. They're pretty rare to use them. Yeah. Let's see, what are these things here? These are thin stems, so these have the Sportster stem size on them. Yeah. I don't see any of the oddball exhaust valves. I never liked using bigger exhaust valves anyway. Alright, so I think I'll use the 1/8 inch over on this set because it needs it, because the valves are sunk so deep. That'll help the install height, which is the mount sticking out the other end over here. So that'll make this fit a lot better with not having to have a bunch of shims over here. We're already going to use those other keepers over there, which is going to help us too on that. So we got a couple little tricks we do. Make things work a little better when you got worn out parts you're using. So I think on this bike we'll use the bigger valves on it. So we'll try using these full size ones. If not, I'll have to get different pairs of those. So I'll get me another set. So what do you do on that one? I'm assuming this is the same on this one. Exhaust is about the same. Intake is more even, see how it's got that cut on the inside all the way around. See, this one here didn't have that lip up here. So where's the valve at? Yeah, so you can see the brass pretty much all the way around. So that'd be good. So you can't sit on the aluminum, you have to be on the brass for seat materials. So they definitely have to work it that way. Alright, so I think we'll do that on this motor. The 65 over here, the seats are sitting up pretty nice. We can do just stock intakes and all the way around. But I might just go bigger. See how that's buried down inside the hole there? I don't like it when they're buried like that. So when you put the bigger intake in there, it moves it back up to where it belongs. Now I've still got to cut it down a little bit until I get to some material to sit up in here, but I like that a lot better. Ooh, that guide's tight. So I might have a new guide in there already. Yeah. it doesn't want to go in the hole. Alright, so that, I might do that, I might not, I'm not sure on that. We're going to see what the customer wants to do. He'll be here tomorrow, so let him decide. But, we can make it work on this head if we want to. This head over here, we definitely have to do it because they're sunk so deep. Okay, let's go ahead and get the guides in here. Now, if you want to know if you need valve guides, take your valve and stuff in the hole. And if it goes rattle, rattle like this, it's probably loose. I've seen worse. I don't know if you can see it going up, moving so much, but see how loose it is. And the valve's all the way in the guide, so that's when it's time to replace them. Unless you don't care about oil usage. Alright, so before you beat them out, I put a little bit of CRC in here to lubricate the stem. That's the outside of the guide hole. Okay, now these have to beat out. So we use a driver. And one of these things that they call me a butcher for using, it's called a hammer. That's how you use them. And make sure you don't drive the guide into the table. So give it a hit, rotate, give it a hit, same thing. When it starts to come out, don't keep beating on it hard. Hit less impact, because the guide's coming out. Okay? One guide. They had a gasket on there. I never use gaskets. And get the other side, same thing. There you go. Okay, now I take the exhaust port and overhang it over the edge of the board there so I don't damage it. Wipe off the top of the head, make sure there's no extra material on there. Get your mic out. Measure the guides, see how big they are. So see, that's about 16 on the mic right here. I don't really care what size as long as it's 16. The other one's up there about 18. Actually, that's not, that's 24, 23 and a half. This one's way down to 16 and a half, so that guy's a lot bigger. So, in case you forget which one goes which, this was the intake. Goes right in. So the intake is worn out, the exhaust isn't. That's kind of backwards. Okay, so now we go over to my guides and we figure out how big that is. So this is a 1 over guide. 1 over is 16, so 1 over is what came out. So we're going to put a, probably try a little bit bigger. We'll go with 2 over. Okay, so here's an exhaust guide. It's barely 2 over. Okay, so we'll put that one in there. We might even have to go to a 3. And the other one over there was huge. It was 23, 4, 23 and a half. That's pretty big. That's way big. Bigger. Ten over. Ooh, that's too big. That's 10 and a half, or 0 and a half, so that's 2 thou bigger than the other one. So we need, when you don't have a 9, you go 8 to 10, so that's a problem. The other problem is these are row guides. Yeah, it's the same size it came out. This is not a home to fit guide. It's called loose. Put it in your backyard and you run it just about. So I use these on really crappy jobs. Now he doesn't want to spend a lot of money on this, but we're putting good parts in anyway. I don't care what he wants to do. I don't like using cheap crap like this. I have my standards. Yep. So this is a intake guide 8 over. And it looks like a little bit smaller than we pulled out, so yeah. See, when it goes in the head, partially in there without doing anything, that's not very good. It got tighter. It actually tightened up in there. I was shocked. Alright, we'll run it. Because the next one's 2 thou bigger and it would probably break the head beating that in there or screw the head up some more. That's why old Harleys have shoulders and they have collars that have shoulders on them. And if you look at the shoulder, the collar, it actually sits on the shoulder. It is not sitting on the head. So that does 2 things. It holds the guide in the head, but it also keeps this off heat transfer to the head, so this doesn't get as hot. Your springs run cooler. It costs more money to make your parts, so oh well. Alright, so that seemed pretty good. We'll go with that one. If I had a 9 over, I'd use it, but we don't have a 9 over. And I don't want to use these stupid ass roll guides because they're loose as a goose, even though it would give me the size I need. I don't want to do it. Okay, this one here is 17. This is press fit lube from Sonnen. It's B200L if anybody cares. This is really thick, gooey, stinky stuff. It's got a lot of sulfur in it. Boy, yeah it does. That makes it high pressure. So this is press fit lube. So as it presses in, it stays. It keeps it from galling, which is season, sticking, metal transfer, whatever you want to call it. That could be a little tighter, but that was adequate. You don't have to try to break the things off to have them go in there. So that one's in there pretty good. So we're happy with that. We'll knock this set out. Let's see what we got on this one. It's pretty tight. It's kind of in between. No, that's down there, 1 over. Okay, good. This one here. Ooh. That was in there good. And that's about a 2 over, 1 over. So these are about 1 or 2 on these, both of these. Looks like 3 of the guides were good and 1 was 8 over. Damn. Nice set of heads. Alright, so this is 1, this is 2, I think. If in doubt, measure. That's 1. I think this one's going to be too loose. We'll see. That's pretty good. I was happy with that one. Try that again with another one. Another one over. Now you have about a 2 thou press fit is what you shoot for. That one's probably adequate. So that is adequate. But we're on exhaust, and it doesn't hurt to have a little extra holding power in case it gets hot. So 3 over instead of a 1 over, or 2 over instead of 1 over, excuse me. And the bottoms don't keep hitting on it. If you keep hitting on it, it'll break the collar right off. Okay, you can hear that one a little bit better, more firm. So a little bit better hit. So we get a little bit better holding power. The exhaust you want a little bit hotter because that part of the head's a little bit colder. I mean, a little bit hotter, so it expands more. So get a little more preload on it. That'd be press fit. All right, so these are ready for honing. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put some more Loctite up on there just to make sure it's sitting up. This is the one that had the bad stud hole there that I did. So looks like the Loctite's still at the very top, the screw, but just to make sure, I'll lay it in there some more. I've got a nice puddle right around the stud now. So see how now it's got a puddle around the stud right there, so it's got plenty in there to do what it needs. So let it sit overnight. And it should be good to go. So I'm good with that set. Alright, so I'm going to figure out the valves. So we're going to use the Korean RevTech valves, which are pretty good valves. So I think I'll get a set that hasn't been back cut. That way I got, in case the seat's a little bit smaller, I'll still have something to work with. We might use this on the 65 if the customer wants to use them. We'll see. A little bit better, bigger intake valve makes the bike run a little bit better. It doesn't cost any extra, so it's a good reason to do it. Okay, I'll get this cleaned up and we'll be back.